Chance to strike! Go!
If there's one thing RPG fans love, it's losing ourselves in worlds that feel alive, where choices matter, characters grow, and combat has just the right mix of crunch and flair. Today, we're counting down 10 modern RPGs that have defined the genre in recent years. These games might be all about stats and loot, but they're about adventures that stick with you long after the credits roll. So grab your favorite potion, settle in, and let's celebrate some of the best role-playing experiences out there.
Everywhere we go, we walk with death. Do you mean we're the only ones left?
Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Every once in a while, a turn-based RPG drops that feels both nostalgic and brand new at the same time. That's what Sandful Interactive achieved with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, published by Kepler Interactive and released in April 2025 for PS5, Xbox Series and PC. Set in a Belle Epoque world, plagued by the yearly Gommage, a curse that erases everyone above a painted age, you lead a band of doomed volunteers determined to stop the enigmatic paintress. Combat looks classic on the surface, party-based, turn-driven, but layers in real-time elements. Quick-time events boost skills, dodges and parries happen mid-enemy turn, and free-aimed ranged attacks feel like third-person shooters. Each expeditioner plays wildly differently. Loon stacks elemental stains. Mael switches stances. Ciel uses mystical cards to set up devastating foretell bursts, while Monaco shapeshifts into enemies and spins up a bestial wheel. Builds hinge on allocating attribute points, slotting pictos that evolve into luminas, and chasing weapon upgrades via collectible chroma catalysts. With linear levels branching into hidden bosses, a mythical traversal companion, NG plus mode, and narrative choices that twist between tragic immortals and painter families, this is a feast for RPG fans. If you love precise combat blended with operatic storytelling, Expedition 33 will absolutely consume you. Baldur's Gate 3. There aren't many RPGs that let you seduce a vampire, shove enemies off cliffs, and talk to squirrels in the same hour, but that's exactly what Baldur's Gate 3 delivers. Developed by Larian Studios and launched in 2023 across PC, PS5, Xbox Series and macOS, it adapts Dungeons & Dragons 5e rules with obsessive fidelity while layering in cinematic storytelling that feels alive. The hook? You and your party are infected with mind flayer tadpoles and set off through the Forgotten Realms to cure yourselves, while every faction, god and demon seems eager to use that parasite for their own gain. The systems are pure tabletop joy. AD20 drives combat, dialogue and exploration checks, with advantage/disadvantage changing outcomes. Combat is turn-based, tactical and highly reactive to terrain. Fire spreads through oil, ice shatters under flame, and verticality matters. Builds go deep with multiple classes, multi-classing, feats, and level 12 caps. Nearly 300 quests and 3 sprawling acts let you approach situations with violence, persuasion, or trickery. Companions have branching arcs, romances, and sometimes betrayals. If you want a modern RPG where choice really does ripple across the entire narrative, this is the gold standard. Dragon's Dogma. This one let you leap onto a griffin's back mid-flight, stab it until your stamina runs dry, and then tumble to the ground laughing. That's the magic of Dragon's Dogma. Dark Arisen, Capcom's 2016 expanded re-release of the cult hit. It builds on the original with all DLC, plus the infamous Bitter Black Isle expansion, a labyrinth of nightmarish bosses and loot for the brave. The story kicks off when your heart, literally, is stolen by a dragon, branding you as the Arisen. From there, you shape your path across Grances, a sprawling open world that hides hydras, chimeras, bandits, and secrets. Combat is real-time and kinetic, rewarding experimentation with 9 vocations like Strider, Mystic Knight, or Sorcerer. Mixing skills, stamina management, and environmental tactics makes every fight a thrill. But the true standout is the pawn system. You recruit 3 AI companions, each learning behaviors from you and others online. Borrow someone else's veteran pawn for a tricky quest, or train your own and watch them come back with loot and strategies. It feels alive in a way most party systems don't.
Self-relied on you so much. That ends today. Let's do this, Senpai!
Persona 5 Royal, developed by Atlus's P Studio and first released in 2016 with the definitive Royal Edition in 2020, it throws you into modern Tokyo as Joker, a high schooler framed for assault who discovers he can enter the metaverse, a world shaped by human desires. From there, you lead the Phantom Thieves, a group of classmates turned vigilantes, stealing the corrupt hearts of abusers, mobsters, and politicians. The game lives in 2 halves. Your student life, where you manage a calendar of classes, part-time jobs, and relationship building with confidants, and the metaverse, where you infiltrate palaces and the sprawling dungeon mementos. Combat is turn-based, but stylishly fast, rewarding smart exploitation of enemy weaknesses with knockdowns, hold-ups, and devastating all-out attacks. Personas, which are manifestations of the inner psyche, are collected, fused, and trained in the Velvet Room, giving endless build variety. Royal expands this further with Kasumi Sumira's Arc and Counselor Maruki's Palace, reshaping the finale into an emotional gut punch. If you're the type who loves both min-maxing builds and sinking into character-driven stories, Persona 5 Royal is an essential modern classic.
But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he's Dovahkiin.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Few RPGs have become cultural shorthand the way Skyrim has. Bethesda Game Studios launched it on November 11th, 2011. And since then, it's lived on nearly every platform imaginable, spawning mods, memes, and millions of Dragonborn adventures. The setup is iconic. You begin as a prisoner in the province of Skyrim, only to discover you're Dragonborn, a mortal blessed with the voice of dragons. From there, it's a choose-your-own saga. Follow the main quest to confront Alduin the World Eater. Dive into the civil war between Stormcloaks and Imperials, or ignore it all to rob tombs, join guilds, and hunt vampires. The beauty lies in freedom. Character creation lets you pick from 10 races, but how you play is defined by skills, whether you're sneaking daggers, dual-casting destruction spells, or bashing skulls with warhammers. Shouts give you powers from dragon slaying to weather manipulation. The world itself is massive. Snowy peaks, Dwemer ruins, bustling cities, and hundreds of caves and quests. Mods extend this endlessly with new mechanics, graphics, and even fan-made campaigns. If you're the type who wants an RPG where you can live another life entirely, Skyrim remains the definitive sandbox fantasy.
The 3 of them, 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 3 of them,
Fallout New Vegas. Waking up in the Mojave Desert with a bullet wound to the head isn't the usual way RPG heroes start their journey, but that's exactly how Fallout New Vegas kicks things off. Developed by Obsidian and published by Bethesda in 2010 for PC, PS3 and Xbox 360, it drops you into a post-apocalyptic Nevada as a nameless courier caught in a three-way power struggle between the democratic New California Republic, the brutal Caesar's Legion, and the enigmatic Mr. House of New Vegas. Where it shines is player agency. Dialogue trees and faction reputation systems make every choice ripple. Ally with one group, and another may put a price on your head. Special stats and perks shape your build. Sneaky assassin, smooth-talking diplomat, heavy gun brawler, or hardcore survivalist. Combat blends real-time shooting with VATS, letting you freeze time to target limbs or chain criticals. Hardcore mode raises the stakes further by tracking hunger, thirst, sleep, and permanent companion deaths. The world sprawls across the Mojave with quests that rival entire games in depth, from the quirky boomers at Nellis Air Force Base to the fate of the Hoover Dam itself. If you love branching narratives, tough moral dilemmas, and RPG systems that don't hold your hand, New Vegas is still unmatched.
This is it. Trust me.
You know I do.
Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. You know things are about to get intense when Idris Elba shows up in your RPG. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, released in September 2023 for PC, PS5 and Xbox Series, is CD Projekt Red's spy thriller expansion that drags V into Dogtown, a warlord-run district carved out of Night City. The setup? Rescue the President of the new United States after her plane crashes and then dive headfirst into conspiracies, rogue AIs, and double crosses with FIA agent Solomon Reed and Netrunner Songbird. Gameplay evolves dramatically here. The 2.0 update revamped perks, but Phantom Liberty adds the relic skill tree, new hacks, and combat tricks like air dashing and wall vision. Vehicular combat finally feels baked in, letting you fire rockets and machine guns from cars. Dogtown itself is dense with gigs, bosses and loot, a far cry from filler content. And depending on whether you side with Reed or Songbird, you unlock a brand new ending for Cyberpunk 2077 that reshapes V's fate. If you want an RPG that gives us espionage, brutal choices, and some of the sharpest combat redesigns CDPR has pulled off, Phantom Liberty is where Cyberpunk truly hits its stride.
Playing as a lord, I command thee now!
Elden Ring. When an RPG hands you a spectral horse and tells you to go wherever you want, you know you're in for something special. Elden Ring, released in February 2022 by From Software and Bandai Namco, is the studio's most ambitious game to date. A sprawling dark fantasy epic co-created with George R.R. Martin. Set in the lands between, you play as a Tarnished tasked with reforging the shattered Elden Ring and deciding who, if anyone, deserves to rule as Elden Lord. The open world is vast but deliberate. Rolling fields, corrupted swamps, legacy dungeons that feel like classic Dark Souls castles, and hidden catacombs packed with mini-bosses. Combat builds on FromSoft's DNA, precise dodging, stamina management, brutal melee, but layers in Ashes of War, spirit summons, mounted battles, and an enormous arsenal of spells and weapons. Progression revolves around runes, lost on death, but reclaimable if you survive the run back. You can take down demigod rulers in any order, experiment with wild hybrid builds, or tackle massive bosses with friends in seamless online co-op. If your RPG cravings lean toward punishing combat, haunting lore, and near infinite replayability, Elden Ring is the modern masterpiece.
Look, I'm involved in things. Dangerous things.
So?
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Revisiting Midgar has never looked or felt this good. Final Fantasy VII Remake, released in 2020 for PS4 and later expanded as Intergrade on PS5 and PC, with Switch 2 and Xbox Series ports slated for 2026, is Square Enix's ambitious reimagining of one of the most influential RPGs ever made. Instead of a one-to-one remake, this is the first entry in a trilogy that blows out the original's Midgar arc into a full-length game. You step into the boots of Cloud Strife, mercenary turned eco-terrorist for hire, joining Avalanche to stop Shinra from draining the planet's lifeblood. The story expands characters like Jesse and Biggs, deepens Sephiroth's shadow over events, and throws in fate-altering entities called the Whispers to tease future divergences. Combat is a hybrid of fast-paced real-time slashing and the classic ATB system, letting you slow down the action to launch spells, limit breaks, and summons. Party switching is seamless. Cloud's close-range power, Barrett's ranged fire, Tifa's martial arts, and Aerith's support magic all click into place. With jaw-dropping cinematics, a remixed Nobuo Uematsu soundtrack, and strategic depth under the flash, this is both nostalgia fuel and a modern RPG heavyweight. For anyone who wants cinematic storytelling fused with layered combat, Remake is essential.
The divine is dead. Have you forgotten? We are on our own. There is only us and what we can do to protect each other.
What can yet be blessed, can yet be restored.
Divinity Original Sin 2, Definitive Edition. When an RPG lets you play as an undead who hides their face so NPCs won't panic, you know freedom is the name of the game. Divinity Original Sin 2, Definitive Edition, developed by Larian Studios and released in 2017, with its enhanced version following in 2018, is a modern classic that proved turn-based CRPGs can be as thrilling as any action RPG. Set in Rivellon, you awaken as a sorcerer imprisoned for your dangerous powers, only to be swept into a battle for godhood itself. Character creation is dizzying in the best way. Pick from 6 fully voiced origin characters. Or roll your own as a human, elf, lizard, dwarf, or undead. Builds are endlessly flexible, with hundreds of skills across 12 schools. Combat is tactical chess mixed with chaos. Surfaces can be ignited, electrified, or frozen, and elevation changes fights entirely. Dialogue checks, persuasion, and even speaking with animals or ghosts mean every decision has ripple effects. Play solo, or in 4-player drop-in/drop-out co-op, including couch split screen. Add in the Game Master mode, Steam Workshop mods, and 4K support, and this is a sandbox for storytellers and tacticians alike. If you love freedom, consequences, and deep systems, Original Sin 2 is unmissable. And that's our list of 10 modern RPGs that prove the genre is healthier than ever. So if you're craving a sprawling open-world journey, a tight tactical challenge, or a character-driven narrative full of tough choices, there's a game here calling your name. The best part? These worlds only get richer the more you experiment. So dive in, try wild builds, and see where the story takes you. Which of these RPGs have you sunk the most hours into? And which one's next on your list? Drop your favourites in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. Happy adventuring!